What's up, everybody? Dylan Ignacio here. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for being here first and foremost. And we're going to get this started with a little Ghost energy drink. These are so freaking delicious. If you have not tried these out yet, you're missing out. Whoa. So, after making the video about my profession and diving into that, it was kind of dark. It was kind of sad. The vibes were pretty low in that one. And that was just me keeping it real. That currently is my situation. And a lot of individuals who are in my career fields situation. And so I just wanted to put that out there. Because if I come in here on this channel and I act like I'm this vibrant, bundle of positivity on a daily basis and I have everything figured out, that's far from the truth. I just believe I have some experiences that I can bring to the table that hopefully help other people who are going through their own personal journey. So I want to tie that back in. After reviewing my video that I last posted, I realized that I was bitching a lot about things that I didn't necessarily have control over. Yes, things that are worth speaking about, but I was letting things that I didn't have direct control over in my life, as far as the narrative going on in the nation, as far as certain things happening in my profession, things that I personally have no control over. I was letting them literally push me back into bad habits that I've had previously. And to dive into those, I chewed tobacco for 7 years. I smoked cigarettes for almost 2 years. And I also have on and off had issues with drinking excessively. And so I kind of felt myself going back down that rabbit hole because, and maybe you guys can relate to this, when things get tough, your worst and poorest habits are the ones that try to come back to bite you in the ass. So I had to call myself out. I was like, look, Dylan, you can't control what's going on in the nation. You can't control, these big picture things. You can only play, your part, but you can damn sure take control of your own life and get yourself back together. And luckily, and I'm blessed for this, that because of my prior experiences and that I've talked about in previous episodes, is that I know the tools, that I have the tools in the toolkit to get myself to where I want to be mentally and physically. I just need to be consistent. And I've noticed that with me, and maybe you guys struggle with this as well, is that I allow my emotions to contradict what actions I take, which is dangerous. Because the things that I know I need to do personally to set myself up for a better future, down the path that I want to be, which is to be mentally and physically strong and to be an owner of my own business, which I'll get into a little bit later, dreams that I've always had, regardless of what's going on with my current profession. I was like, Dylan, you're not doing these things. Instead of building the website for your brand, you're out drinking. Trying to, shooting the shit with the boys because you're just trying to get, that dopamine hit and that feel good feeling of being out. There's nothing wrong going out, but when going out turns into excessively drinking, and then that turns into being hungover the next day, and that turns into you not doing what you need to get done in order to be successful in the future, that's when it becomes a problem. So this video is more of me calling myself out. And I get this a lot, Dylan, you're really hard on yourself. And I understand that. But I'm not necessarily disappointed that I'm hard on myself. I asked for this. When I started my growth journey, I made certain expectations for myself, promises that I made for myself, and when those promises aren't fulfilled, I start going down a bad rabbit hole. So I'm going to let you guys know what I'm going to be doing to get myself in the best possible headspace, in the best possible physical shape, and the best possible financial shape for my future moving forward. And then I'll document my progress moving forward. Instead of waiting until I got all these things figured out, and I know it's going to be a journey, and it has been a journey, I figured that I would just start clean with you guys here, because this is a new channel, and let you know what I'm doing, and then eventually create a community of people who we can all keep each other consistent. and get out of the mentality of chasing after happiness or chasing after or following solely based off of how you feel. Um, when there's concrete things that you know that you could be incorporating in your life to make your life better regardless of your current situation. So a couple of those things for me. I'm gonna hash those out now with you guys. Oh, delicious. So 1, journaling. Journaling has always played a big part in my journey. Have I been wildly consistent with it? No, I'd be lying if I said I was. But in the times that I am, journaling has done a lot for me mentally because and especially I'm a little bit new to this. As far as this journal specifically, this is called the 5-minute journal, and basically what it does is it sets you up. It gives you like a brief explanation for why it's important to journal, and then it literally gives you little challenges. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it'll go through things you're grateful for, what would make today great, daily affirmations, I am. These are the things that you do first thing in the morning before you look at your phone, before anything. And then at the very end here, you have amazing things that happened today. And then you have how I could have made today even better. And those happen right before you go to bed, right before your head hits the pillow. And this is a daily journal. I'm about a week in, and I really enjoy the structure here because I have journaled before, but there wasn't a lot of structure. This has structure. I'll put a link down in the bio if you guys are interested in getting into this. But that will be step 1 for me, is to be consistent with journaling. Step 2. Believe it or not, I have not been to the gym consistently for months, but I haven't been physically in the gym. I'd have to look at my last Instagram post, but at least a month plus. And I do like the longboard and things like that, but I used to be a gym bro. I mean, I was in the gym. I wouldn't miss a day in the gym. And I did this for years. And then I fell into some health issues. And I've kind of been using those as an excuse moving forward not to be consistent in the gym. Because that's the easy way out. Where I know that if I'm in the gym consistently, my head is in a way better headspace. So getting back in the gym and being consistent is something that I'm promising myself I'm going to do. And to do that, I'm going to use, not sponsored or anything, even though it'd be dope if I was one day, is I'm going to use this app called Beastly. And Beastly was created by the How to Beast channel creator. His name is, and I'm really bad with names, so his name is David Las Morenas. Look him up on Instagram. He's at How to Beast. Has an amazing YouTube channel. I love his content. Very inspired by him and then his buddy Mac Tuning's work, who's the owner of Sour Strips and Ever Forward. But David also has a clothing brand called Edge, and he is the creator of this Beastly app. And so I'm going to run through it a little bit with you. But I'm going to be using this Beastly app, and basically it has different programs you can select from. Whether you plan on being in the gym, 6 to 7 days a week, 5 days a week, whatever it has, all the way down to 3 days a week. It'll custom put together a plan for you. You put in all the weights and all that like that, so you know the next time that you're in the gym, you know exactly what weight you need to put on the bar or whatever for the next workout. So you don't have to calculate that out yourself. The app does that for you. Excuse me, based off the program that you select. It also has, and I haven't tested it enough to know if it's as good as more popular trackers like MyFitnessPal, but it also has an option to put in all of your meal plans and your recipes and everything to track your macros and stuff like that. So I'm going to be using that as well. It also has a scanner, just like the other apps do, to track, and I'll let you guys know how that works moving forward. And kind of see my progress and things like that. So working out, definitely something. I love the culture. I've always loved the people that I've met in the gym. I've also loved pushing my body to the limits. And to fall away from something like that is truly doing a disservice to myself. So working out. And third, which was kind of mentioned in this app, is eating consciously healthy. And really diving into prepping out my meals, not for a competition or anything like that, but really focusing on my nutrition, so that not only do I reap the health benefits of that, but I also reap the physique benefits of that from putting all that effort into the gym. So that is number 3. Number 4, and believe it or not, I used to hate doing this. I despised it. Wouldn't even do it. Is reading. Right now, I'm in the middle of this book right now. It's Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller, basically because, as I mentioned earlier, I've always wanted to own my own business, but for years and years and years, and I apologize to my mom because I've come up to her with like hundreds of different business ideas that I just ended up not following through with. I have finally come up with something that is truly near to my heart, and I don't want to talk about it too much because like I don't know how much information I can give about it, but it'll be in the fitness space, and it'll potentially be apparel, and it'll potentially be a brand. So if that, you can kind of guess around that. But building a story brand, just trying to get into, I like reading books that are more in the self-help realm. I like getting something out of the book I read. Not that there's anything wrong with reading pleasure books like Harry Potter, things like that, but I really do truly enjoy reading something that I can literally take a highlight or two and get a lot to it. I also have a blog with some books that I highly suggest if you're just getting into reading and things like that. But I highly recommend self-help books, especially if you're on like a mental, physical journey. The last thing that I know works for me specifically is meditating, even if it's for 5 minutes. And I don't mean meditation in the sense of like like the whole like got to sit around a campfire and kumbaya type stuff. Like I don't mean like that. Like I mean just 5 minutes of understanding my thoughts, understanding that they're there, and letting them pass through, and kind of creating like this mental resilience towards negative thoughts that I may have. And for that, I don't use it as often as I used to, but there's an app that I have used in the past. I don't even believe I'm logged into it anymore, but we're going to log into it today. Is Simple Habit. And Simple Habit, you can pay for the subscription or you can have the free version. It gives you 5 to 10 minutes, and I believe all the way up to maybe even 30 minutes of meditations that you can go through, and they're guided. So you can lay down, put the phone on your chest, and just it'll walk you through it. You really don't have to do any work. It makes it really, really easy. And so I kind of want to give a little bit of background because I don't know if I have not spoken about these things that I've dealt with that have kind of led me down this roller coaster. Now, one thing is that I've had ADHD since I was a kid. So if you have that, then you know exactly what I mean. I'll get started on projects, and then even like, for example, like I wanted to do this YouTube video, and then I was like, well, maybe my fish could use a new fish tank. And I was going to go to PetSmart and buy a new fish tank. But I was like, no, I told myself I was going to make this YouTube video. So it's a lot of distraction. The way it's being explained to me is that you lack dopamine, so you seek it. And so things like social media, like endlessly scrolling, especially like TikTok, you're getting like little micro doses of dopamine. So that's why you scroll forever and ever and ever. And I call it like a paralysis scroll, where like I'll look down and then I'll look back up and it's been 2 or 3 hours. ADHD definitely plays a big part in that. It makes it really difficult for me to focus. But if I have a structured plan, like I know how my day is going to go, then that helps get the things done that I know I need to get done regardless of the distractions that may come and go throughout the day. The second thing is anxiety. I've been diagnosed with anxiety. It runs in my family. And although I'm not on any medication for it, mainly because it counteracts with my thyroid medicine, which is a whole different thing. I have hypothyroidism, and I take Synthroid for that. And so when I got on anxiety medicine, they did clash with each other, and it just wasn't good. So I'm not on any anxiety medication, but I do have it. And some days I notice it more than others. And then I've never been diagnosed with depression, but if you guys have seen my previous post about me dealing with suicidal ideologies, I would say that there's definitely a sprinkle of depression in there, also something that runs in my family. So these are 3 things that I think that I do tend to not give enough, I don't want to say credit to, but I tend to go about my life like these things don't exist, and then I wonder why my brain works the way it does. And what I've learned is that these are things that I have, these are things that I need to learn to cope with, and these things are not going to cripple me and inhibit me from being the person that I want to be. And I'm demanding taking charge of myself, and I understand that that's going to come with some really hard days, and this is not going to be easy, but there is a life that I wish to live, and a career that I'd like to build for myself. Like I said, I've had these dreams prior to even getting into law enforcement. So although the past 2 years have been uncomfortable, these are things I've always wanted to do. So I'm pursuing those things with the understanding that these are very real issues, and my brain just works a little bit different than some other people's. But I've been able to have a successful career in a very, very stressful environment, and if I can do that, I truly believe in myself that I'm going to be able to push forward with this brand and empower others who may suffer from the same issues in getting them into a better space. But I refuse to be a victim to it. I just got to understand that it's going to come with some, some inhibitors or whatever, and I just push through those. So that's really what I wanted this video to be about. I've noticed that, and I think this is the biggest message here, is if you allow your life to be guided directly by your emotion, you're going to do things that aren't going to cater to a successful future for yourself. Especially in my job, I see a lot of people that act out of emotion, whether it's from a fight or whether it's through an altercation or whether it's through even up to like a shooting or anything else, where it's somebody making decisions off of an emotion and not thinking about things logically because they can't calm themselves down in the moment. And especially in a job like mine, where you're expected to be calm in those moments and you're expected to make the perfect decision in hostile environments, I have to make sure that I'm also setting my daily habits up so that I can properly address those issues while I'm on the street. And I also understand that those same habits, as far as journaling, as far as working out, as far as eating right, as far as reading and growing and becoming more knowledgeable in my space and meditating, those things will and have, when I've been consistent with them, grow me into a successful anything that I choose to work towards, whether it's my job now or my business later. So I just want to hit that nail on the head, where you can't live, and I'm kind of making this, I'm kind of like projecting here, but it's not about living to chase an emotion. If you chase happiness your whole life, your life is just going to be like this all the time, and it's going to have so many ebb and flows. Where if you know where you're headed, you can come up with small goals, and you can just tackle those little things over time, giving it like compound interest. And you can tackle those things every day, little by little, for the grand result later in the future. But if you're just chasing happiness, then you're going to go after every little thing that throws itself your way, or any opportunity where you could get like a brief high off of a good moment. You're going to take that and run with it. And you're just going to be all over the place. And at least for me, although it sounds great in the moment and I love being spontaneous, it doesn't serve me any good in the long term, because I end up beating myself up later on for not getting done what I knew I needed to get done because I was chasing after that. Whether it's going out with the boys when I know I should have been working on my website, or whether it was drinking excessively when I knew I should have been tracking my macros and going to the gym. All these different things. Whether it's I'm scrolling through social media instead of opening up a book that I know is going to help me in the future. These decisions are not easy ones. And I know you may be scrolling through social media and you're like, these people are living the life. And oh my God, he's got a dream car, she's got her dream job, all these things. Well, it's very likely that they incorporated these habits like I showed you earlier on, and they just are now showing you the end result of that hard work. and you're not catching it. Just like I know right now, not a lot of people are going to see this video, but one day they're going to see it later down the future, years from now, when I have a bigger following, and then it'll be like, oh, okay, I get it. And it's kind of like this battle between being average and above average. The average person does average stuff, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to be somewhere else, if you want to have a really nice physique, if you want to be mentally strong, if you want to be successful financially, if you want to feel confident in your own skin and in your own mind, so that you can pursue those dreams of yours that you have, then you have to make the difficult decisions up front. And I'm saying that to you again as a projection, reminding myself that those are the things that I need to do to get things done. So I hope that this was not a damper. I hope this video wasn't something that, you know, frustrates you. I hope this inspires you to go, okay, I can do better. I could go on that walk today. I could cook my food today for the first time. I could choose to pick up this book. I've been wanting to read this book forever, but I just haven't got around to it. And understand that you have a lot of time, and time is one of your most precious assets, but you can have time, or you do have time to fit all these things into your daily schedule. And if you don't believe me, you can go in and see other people doing it and living their lifestyle, and chasing after their dreams and getting after it, but they're doing some of the same things every single time. Those include the habits that I included in today. So with that being said, I hope you guys got something out of this video. Please thumbs up this if you got something out of it. If you believe anybody else could get anything out of this video, please share it and comment down below with some things that you do throughout your daily routine that truly help you out. And like always, if you made it to the end of this video, you're dope, and I'll see you on the next one.